My name is Herman Labuschagne. I work for Impact Engineering as Contract Manager. So I'm basically in charge of all the site activities. We were asked to install structural steel over the CMH Ford Dealership, which entailed us removing the old canvas tent that was installed a couple of years ago by, I think it was then BMW dealership. So that was removed, and then we installed the structural steel. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough space around the actual building. Parking was quite limited, which then forced us to erect the structure of Roman poles, as they called it. So steelwork was transferred from trucks directly to the first floor, and then basically manhandled into position, all 50 tons of it. And yeah, we were quite proud of the fact that we managed to, in a very manual way, install the whole structure, 50 tons, in less than 14 days. Yeah, and then from there we proceeded with the tapered roof sheeting, obviously, to clad the roof and the sides. So our main challenge is space again. It's a site where you don't have the ability to stack vast sums of steel around the site. There was virtually no space. The issue was that we couldn't just lay it and take one piece at a time. We literally had to take the steel up to first floor level and almost erect it at the same time. There wasn't even space on the first floor to lay it down and prepare it for erection. It actually had to prepare it off ground, erect it and installed. I think, yeah, that's basically the main issue we dealt with is space. But yeah, we seem to manage to work around it. The obvious advantage is weight. If you use concrete, as good as it is, it can only, and if you want to use it horizontally as a beam, you can only span a certain distance, and you're very limited in that sense. And the bigger the span, the bigger the concrete beam needs to be to accommodate. But in the same time, increasing its own weight becomes a problem in itself. You don't have that issue with structural steel. You can span vast distances with minimum amount of steel, provided the engineering has been applied properly. I think we're quite lucky, especially in KZN. We do have awesome engineers here, and I've had the privilege to work with some of the best, Linda Ness being one of them. I love the structural steel. It's a great component to use for erecting whatever structure that's required by the client. The thing that I'm most proud of, and it's my rigging team. We've got a rigging team at SAISC Rigging, and most particularly there's a chap called Sean Nider. Yeah, you wouldn't give him a second look on the street, but he is one awesome human being. And he has done some exceptional rigging for Impact Engineering, and it's an absolute pleasure working with this guy and working with his team. He can take steelwork that would probably take most people a fair bit of time to erect, and he can halve that for you. You could halve the time and erection, and the quality is still top notch. And then that is what we need. That's what the client needs. I think ultimately for us, if we're able to knock off a week, 2 weeks of a program, it's a win-win for everybody. And I have that within that team. So I think that's probably the thing that I'm most proud of.